Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. We have been off the air for a few days due to some technicalities, but happy to be back. The VI Strong theme rings through as the community continues cleanup after two major hurricanes, Irma and Maria, back-to-back. Governor Mapp is just wrapping up his live conferences. Mapp announced he will include representatives from the St. Croix business community in a hurricane recovery task force originally formed in the St. Thomas St. John district following Hurricane Irma. The governor says the expanded task force, to be named the Virgin Islands Hurricane Recovery Task Force, will address the economy and other issues affecting both districts. The governor said he expects to be able to announce the additional members of the task force next Monday. Now, in other news, meanwhile, Governor Mapp says he needs to do a roll call. Here's more from that conference.
A message to all executive branch government employees and to the agency heads of all of the departments and agencies of the executive branch of the government of the Virgin Islands. All government employees must check in person, not by phone, not by email, with your respective departments and agencies in your districts. I am directing all of the agency heads to get out your payroll sheet and let me know who has reported and who have not reported. If you are on sick leave prior to the storm, you continue to be on sick leave, and we're not interested only to the extent that you're getting better. If you are on vacation and your vacation runs through the storm, that's fine, and you'll be noted as that you're on leave, and you'll take your leave as you have applied for. But if we're carrying you on administrative leave and you are not in the territory physically and you have not been transferred to do duty outside of the Virgin Islands, Friday at 5 p.m. will be your last day on administrative leave. Now, I'm not threatening you about your job. You'll have your job, but come Monday you will have to figure out whether you want to apply for your own annual leave to continue to get paid, or we'll just put you leave without pay effective Monday. A number of folks have left prior to the storms, and in some of the critical agencies like the Department of Justice, it has hampered their efforts to work. And we cannot continue to pay administrative leave if you're on the U.S. mainland. And I spoke about this before. And so Friday is the deadline, and I'm asking and I'm directing my agency heads by 5 p.m. on Friday to submit to my office their payroll listings indicating the status of all of their employees in their departments and agencies in terms of whether they're in the territory or out of the territory. I have made it clear you can't call in and say I'm in the Virgin Islands. You cannot text in and say I'm in the Virgin Islands, and you cannot email in that you're in the Virgin Islands. You must show up physically and be present and establish that you are in the Virgin Islands. Again, if you're on sick leave, if you're on annual leave, or any other kind of leave other than administrative leave, then these changes do not apply to you.
Meanwhile, Governor Mapp told members of the 32nd Legislature on Saturday during a meeting the government is insured for a portion of its losses, and the federal government has pledged to pay for more of the cost of recovery under the Stafford Act. Governor Mapp and Lieutenant Governor Osbert Potter met with Senate President Myron Jackson and Senators Marvin Blyden, Jeanette Millen-Young, Jean Ford, Tregenza Roach, Brian Smith, and Janelle Saru in the Board of Elections conference room to discuss the state of the territory's effort to recover from Hurricanes Irma and Maria. Jackson said the 32nd Legislature was prepared to play a greater role in the territory's recovery. Senators would like to assist in distributing supplies to seniors and others in need, he said, and to have a more formalized role at the Emergency Operations Command. FEMA is inviting all government departments and semi-autonomous agencies which sustained damages as a result of the hurricanes to attend the FEMA Public Assistance Grant Applications briefings That's on Thursday, September 28th at the CHS Auditorium from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. The FEMA Public Assistance Grant provides funds to eligible government departments and semi-autonomous agencies for the restoration of public roads and facilities following a presidential disaster declaration. Certain private nonprofits could be eligible for assistance. The applicant briefing will provide a program overview, eligibility, and procurement requirements. At the end of the briefing, applicants will have the opportunity to submit a request for public assistance, which will initiate the funding application process. Here's an update from the Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority. WAPA has formalized the mobilization of 240 linemen from the United States to aid WAPA line personnel and on-island contractors in the restoration of electrical service for both island districts. A small group of 8 arrived over the weekend and are now deployed. They say emergency call centers that were to be activated on Monday were delayed as communication links were down, preventing connectivity. WAPA is working with VIA to restore the lines for the emergency call centers on St. Thomas and St. Croix. The public will be advised once the call centers are activated. WAPA continues to work jointly with VIA, the VI Waste Management Authority, and the Department of Public Works on a cleanup initiative across the territory. Damage assessments continue to provide the authority on accurate picture of the extent of damage to WAPA's electrical distribution systems. Restoration plans for both districts will be made public once the damage assessment process is completed. WAPA continues to work with the administration and federal government partners in identifying funding for hazard mitigation projects. Line department crews and contractors continued rebuilding various A feeders on St. Thomas on Monday. Efforts are also underway to bring power to both the Ron DeLugo Federal Building and the Alexander Farrelly Justice Complex Center, which houses the Superior Court of the VI PD Richard Colwood Command, and the Bureau of Corrections. Now, on St. Croix, efforts continued Monday as well to energize more sections of downtown Christiansted and Frederiksted Town up to the Paul E. Joseph Stadium. The service to St. Croix's West End begins at the Midland substation. The Sarah Lee King Airport, which is good news for many on St. Thomas, is expected to reopen for the commercial flights on Thursday, September 28th. And that message came from Governor Kenneth Mapp. He made that announcement Monday during his press conference. Speaking with reporters at the conference, Governor Mapp commended the Virgin Islands Port Authority and the Department of Tourism for their work in getting the airport up and running under difficult circumstances. He said flight schedules are to begin and be determined by the respective airlines, and the governor urged travelers to arrive about 4 hours before departure to ensure passengers can be processed in time. He reported that travelers will clear U.S. customs on arrival and not in the U.S. Virgin Islands this week, and plans are underway to open the Henry E. Rolson Airport on St. Croix next week. Count on to keep you updated. Meanwhile, Commissioner Beverly Nicholson Doty says the government of the VI continues work with the cruise partners to secure a sailing for residents who wish to travel to the U.S. mainland. She reminds the public that any attempts to register potential passengers online are not official. She said once a departure date and time has been announced, she said we will open the visitor information centers on St. Croix, St. John, and St. Thomas to facilitate the cruise line registration process. There will be no online registrations, she says. Registration will only be accepted in person with the Department of Tourism. Additionally, a departure date and time has not yet been confirmed. She said, we continue to work on securing additional flights for the territory. However, because the storms impacted other destinations in the region, the availability of additional flights is now extremely limited. She said at this time, the waiting list far exceeds the number of seats the airline can provide through Mercy flights. As a result, she said, we are unable to accept any additional registrations for these special missions. She said, please stay tuned to usviupdate.com for official information concerning the recovery from the recent hurricanes. Official information will be posted on the IT Facebook page, announced on local radio and shared on the usviupdate.com. And she said, we understand the frustrations of many people that they are experiencing, but she says they are doing everything in their power to be of service during this trying time. Well, an update with the Department of Education. The Department of Education employees were asked to report to work today to their respective workplaces from McCollum. She said all contracted janitorial workers and cleaning services will also asked to report to the schools today to help clean up efforts. Meanwhile, a meeting is set for all high school seniors of Ivana Udorakan High School and the Sheldon Amali High School students, and that's going to be held at the Sheldon Amali High School auditorium Friday at 11 a.m. This combined meeting is going to be held again at CAHS Auditorium, which includes CAHS students, Ivana Udorakan High School students, and parents are also asked to attend. Students should walk with ID. No uniforms are necessary. Governor Mapp said he and his emergency management teams are focused on solving housing issues and getting the Blue Roof program already established in St. Thomas and St. John off the ground in St. Croix. An interim solution for some damaged or destroyed roofs may be more durable tarps, the governor said, explaining that a permanent fix will take more time as FEMA and insurance providers must assess damages. Federal Coordinating Officer of FEMA Region 2, William Bill Vogel, reported FEMA has to date discharged 3.6 million meals, 1.3 million liters of water, 15,000 rolls of blue sheeting for blue roofs, 18 infant toddler kits, and has connected 27 generators. Meanwhile, the Department of Public Works sign up for tarps and installation began. They say the program is being administered by zones. Zone 1 is Fortuna to Santa Maria. Zone 2, North Side from Estate Pearl to Tabor and Harmony. Zone 3, downtown Charlotte Amali to Frenchman's Bay, St. Thomas. Zone 4, Nazareth to Bovoni. Zone 5, Tutu to Smith Bay. Zone 6, Smith Bay and Water Island, Frenchtown. Tarps will be given to a contractor, and be sure to count on 2 as we get some information provided for St. Croix. Well, stick around. We have much more straight ahead. We'll be right back. Welcome back. 32 patients needing medical attention were evacuated from the Governor Wanaflui Hospital and Medical Center in St. Croix this past weekend. Speaking with members of the media in St. Croix, USVI Commissioner of Health, Dr. Michelle Davis, reported that 20 patients were flown to Atlanta on Saturday, while 12 patients were sent to Shreveport, Louisiana on Sunday as the government responds to the urgent healthcare needs of residents in the wake of the hurricanes, which impacted the territory's medical services. 40 dialysis patients, she added, are now being prepared to leave the territory. The governor confirmed the second Hurricane Maria-related fatality, extending his condolences to the family of a man who was killed when a mudslide damaged his home. This brings the total number of reported fatalities in the territory attributed to the hurricanes to 7. Commissioner Davis offered some health and safety tips as well as residents continue to clean up their homes, recommending the use of protective items like hard hats, goggles, heavy work gloves, steel-toed boots, and earplugs, as well as fire extinguishers, among others. She also reminded them that anything that's come in contact with flood water could be carrying some germs. For cleaning anything with mold, she advised a ratio of 1 cup household bleach to 1 gallon of water, while for washing children's toys, she advised a ratio of 1 cup household bleach to 5 gallons of water, followed by air drying the toys. The commissioner reminded residents to wear protective gloves and a mask to keep windows and doors open when using bleach. Now, regarding mosquito protection, she asked residents to continue to follow the dress, drain, and defend message announced by the Department of Health, which advises residents to dress in lightweight, long-sleeve clothing, drain standing water, and use insect repellent as a defense against mosquitoes. Commissioner Davis underscored the need for residents to take care of their mental health as well, recommending that anyone experiencing psychological distress as a result of the hurricanes to call the helpline, which is 1-800-985-5990. That number again, 1-800-985-5990. Well, how are some of the businesses doing out there? Independent Boatyard is located in Benner Bay on the east end of St. Thomas Marina, and the Boatyard did suffer some damage. We caught up with some in the dock space area at the marina. Here's more.
It looked like the wind that funneled down through the lagoon here, and it hit the front boat, and when the first boat started to tip out the sailboat, the mast caught to the next mast, and just was like a domino theory. If you look at the yard, you're going to see 29 boats, could be, 40 boats that have knocked out of jack stands, and 29 when the mast caught, that the masts are broken in half. I mean, it's in bad shape, but we need to get a crane in, like a truck crane, to pick up the first boat so we can get to the second tier. And so the whole thing is you have to have a good game plan. It's not don't do work for the sake of doing work. You have to have a plan. And we got the good thing is we got some good people here. But a lot of boats you can't touch until the insurance adjuster. Because I can get on a boat and I can make it look very good compared to what the hurricane did. And then for the guy or the girl would not get his or her insurance. So we're kind of limited until the insurance adjusters or appraisers get in here, what we can do.
Allied Rental Center as well has been renting and selling all sorts of tools and equipment needed for construction, renovation, gardening, and landscaping on St. John for years. Stores such as these have been busy before and after the hurricane. Here's more.
The big necessity that everybody has at this point are generators, chainsaws and things like that we can always supply on. Coming from Miami, we have 2 shipments coming from Miami, so hopefully we'll be able to supply at least a good amount of generators, small ones, 7,500 watts down to 2,000 watts. So we're here to help. We as a community must come together and recoup our island and recoup our way of living normally again. It's going to take time, but I'm pretty sure that we will survive. We will arise again stronger than we used to be.
Now, before, during, and after the storm, business was booming for MSI Building Supplies. Items such as lumber and other necessities were on the list for many who were bunkering down before the storms. Here's more.
We hope we can help everybody to the best of our ability. Everybody has to have a little patience, because we now are in queue ourselves to get material because other islands have been hurt. It didn't help when St. Croix and then Puerto Rico all got this. So we're in this together, and we will try to help every single person that we can. And we do prepare. Our staff knows what's going to happen if these occur. So they're all here, and they've been here for the last about 2.5, 3 weeks, all day, every day, even though normally we're not working all these days. So good luck to everybody, and we will surely want to help you all to the best of your ability to repair and build strong. That's really now the clue to this. Don't just be satisfied with hammering a few nails in. We've really got to build right.
Governor Kenneth Mapp invited residents to enter the doors of the church to offer praise and thanksgiving last Sunday. Governor Mapp welcomed church leaders to hold services on Sunday during the suspension of the 24-hour curfew between noon and 4 p.m. on St. Croix, so residents can ask for continued strength, he said, to recover from the 2 devastating storms that impacted the territory. The curfew in the St. Thomas St. John district, 6 p.m. to 9 a.m., also gave the churches the opportunity to hold services during the day. Now, we caught up with reps of the Jehovah's Witness as one who were in the territory. Here's more.
I live in Patterson, New York, and happy to be here in the Virgin Islands. We're going through all the islands looking at the damage that has been done by the hurricane. Many people don't know that Jehovah's Witnesses have a very active and organized program for disaster relief. In fact, you can find regular news updates about the work being done by Jehovah's Witnesses at the website jw.org. just a little bit of the work that we're doing here. Right now we are assessing the needs, not just of Jehovah's Witnesses, but of the island at large. Also in the United States, relief supplies are being packaged and some containers are already on the way, some of them specifically being sent here to St. Thomas. We have other locations as well, such as St. Croix, St. John. We're going to give our attention to Tortola and Virgin Gorda later today. Also, we've been working over the last few days. We were in Puerto Rico, and before that we were in Texas, where Hurricane Harvey had its great effect. And so it's not known by many, like I said, that Jehovah's Witnesses have this active work, but we really do see it as a needed work to fulfill Jesus' required assignment to love our neighbors and to take care of our neighbors. So as you see us in your community doing this work, smile and we'll smile and wave back, because we're happy to be here, and we want to assure everybody that more help is coming.
Great message there. Stick around. The News 2 AccuWeather forecast comes your way next.
Well, hopefully everybody is doing okay here in the Virgin Islands. Taking a look at the satellite right now, we do have kind of a cloudy day, more clouds than we typically see, but just some spotty showers. Trade wind activity as usual. We are going to see an uptick in showers. This right here is a tropical wave. It's heading in our direction. It won't reach us, though, until Friday. And when that happens, we will have an uptick in those showers. So certainly a bit more of a gloomy weekend ahead of us. Taking a look right now, though, things are pretty quiet. Just some clouds, maybe a shower or two in places. As we take a look at tonight, 78 degrees for the low temperature, partly cloudy skies, so not bad. St. John tomorrow, 87, partly sunny, beautiful conditions, really. St. Thomas, 87, partly sunny as well. And in St. Croix, 86 degrees, and it's going to be nice and sunny out there. For the Atlantic side, waves 3 to 5 feet, winds out of the east from 10 to 15 knots. We don't have any advisories to tell you about. Caribbean, 2 to 4 feet, east, 10 to 15 knots for our winds as well. Here we are taking a look at the next couple days. So Wednesday, Thursday, it's going to be very typical trade wind showers, mainly in the evening, and mostly sunny days ahead of us. Friday, that's when that tropical wave moves into our direction. We're going to see a few showers, maybe some gusts of wind, 86 degrees for the temperature. By Saturday, well, it's going to be the same pattern because of that tropical wave. A shower or two should be expected. Not as wet Saturday as it's going to be Friday. And then by Sunday, we are closer to our typical pattern with maybe just a shower or two in places, but it's going to stay nice and warm, and we aren't talking any kind of flooding downpours, which is fantastic news. Back to you.
Thank you for that. Let's look at our News 2 weather picture there by Keeman Gerald, first grader representing the Lockhart Elementary School, sharing some sunshine and some raindrops, what we've been seeing a lot of, Keeman. Hope you're getting ready for back to school. Thanks for your picture there. Send us your News 2 weather picture to News 2 via 4611 Tutu Park, Suite 300, St. Thomas, Virgin Islands 00802. That's all for this edition of News 2. We'd like to thank you for joining us for all the latest. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Sandra Guman saying on behalf of all of us, have a wonderful evening. We'll see you next time.